I'm going to tell you how to be ambitious without breaking a sweat. This is one of the most requested videos I've ever been asked to do. But before we get started, let me introduce myself. I'm the host of this channel and author of a best-selling book about how to succeed without serious talent or skill. Like, what exactly is it? Is it the endless hustle? The grind? It's doing things even when you don't feel like it so you can win. It seems like every self-help guru out there talks about ambition, but they never actually define it. You just kind of have this general sense that there are some things you should be doing because they were good for you, or because everyone tells you that you should do them. On the x-axis, we have the level of importance that we assign to something. And on the y-axis, we have the amount of time that we have available to spend on it. Like, why would anyone listen to a lazy person like me who doesn't even have his own life together? Well, first of all, thank you. You also need to be able to see the value in those goals. You need to be able to see how they fit into your overall life and how they contribute to your sense of meaning and purpose. Or, how do I increase the amount of time that I have available to spend on them? It's important to me because I want to share my message with as many people as possible. You're rich so you can afford to hire other people. But that's not true. I wasn't rich when I wrote my first book. In fact, I was broke. Well, the same is true for the journey of 1,000 goals. You can put everything into place now. Set up systems and processes so that when you're ready to take action, you can do so without any hesitation. This is what I like to call balanced ambition. It's the idea that in order to be ambitious, you don't have to sacrifice your downtime or put your life on hold. Instead, you simply need to be intentional about how you spend your time. You need to be able to see the value in what you are redoing, and you need to be able to adjust your goals and priorities as needed. All it takes is a single step in the right direction. But that didn't stop me from being able to write the book, because I was able to leverage other people's skills. I was able to find writers and editors who were willing to work for a lower rate so that I could spend more time on the things that were most important to me. But writing a book is a big project that requires a lot of time and effort. I would love to have you back for more videos in the future. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time. All you have to do is figure out what your goals are and then take the necessary steps to achieve them. So instead of trying to do everything myself, I hired other people to help me. I hired a writer to write the book for me, and I hired an editor to edit the book. By doing this, I was able to spend more time on the things that were most important to me, like coming up with the ideas for the book and promoting it once it was finished. At the same time, I was also able to raise the importance of writing the book on my x-axis because by hiring other people, I was able to focus on the parts of the project that were most important to me. Well, that's easy. You delegate. By using other people to do tasks that they are better suited for than you, you free up your time and mental energy to focus on the things that are most important to you. Otherwise, no matter how hard you try, you're just not going to be able to sustain that level of ambition for very long. Second of all, this isn't just made-up nonsense. First, figure out what your peak desire is. What do you really want in life? What are you truly passionate about? Next, figure out what your current level of ambition is. How much time are you spending working towards your goals? And finally, ask yourself whether or not you're spending enough time working towards your goals. If the answer is no, then it's time to make a change. Increase the importance of your goals on the x-axis and/or increase the amount of time that you have available to spend on them on the y-axis. There's actually a lot of research to back this up. For example, in a study published in the Journal of Graduate Medical Education, researchers found that doctors who had a sense of meaning and purpose in their work were more likely to report high levels of satisfaction and engagement. And in a study published in the Harvard Business Review, researchers found that employees who felt like their work was important and meaningful were more likely to be productive and successful. Now, the idea is that there is a point on this graph where the two intersect, where the level of importance is at its highest. This is our optimum moment of desire, or peak desire. So, for example, if we were looking at the decision of whether or not to exercise, we would plot the importance of exercising against the amount of time that we have available to spend on it. We could then use this graph to help us decide whether or not we should exercise. If the two lines intersect, then it's likely that we will be motivated to exercise. But if the lines don't intersect, then we probably won't be motivated to exercise. But what if you could approach this in a more systematic way? So, for example, let's say that we wanted to become more ambitious about learning a new skill. We could do this by raising the importance of learning that skill on the x-axis. But we would also need to raise the amount of time that we have available to spend on it on the y-axis. This would then shift the intersection point up and to the right, increasing our motivation to learn the skill a better way. Well, there's a scientific theory called the optimum moment of desire, or what most people call peak desire. And this theory proposes that there is a perfect balance between what you want and what you need. And by understanding this balance, you can better decide which ambitions are worth pursuing and which ones you should probably just let go of. They just sort of assume that you know what they're talking about. Well, here's the thing. If you don't understand exactly what ambition is, you might be pursuing the wrong things. So in today's video, I'm going to define ambition, explain why it's necessary if you want to have more, and then show you how to cultivate it without putting in any effort whatsoever. You can find a link to that book below. Now, ambition has always been something of a mystery to me. Okay, so what is ambition? Well, according to the dictionary, ambition is an energetic desire to do something. That sounds simple enough, but think about how many different things you could be ambitious about. In fact, think about your life right now. What are some things that you would like to accomplish? Maybe you want to lose weight, maybe start a business, learn a new skill. These are all things that you could be ambitious about. So the question is, how do you decide which ones to focus on? If you're like most people, you probably haven't given it much thought. So here's how it works. Picture a graph with two axes, and the same goes for everything else in life. The difference is, with ambition, we actually have control over where those lines intersect. Now, you might be thinking that this is just a bunch of made-up nonsense. In other words, if you want to be more ambitious, it's not enough to just set goals and then force yourself to work harder. So if you want to master the art of ambition, here's what you need to do. But okay, great. How do I actually do that? How do I raise the importance of my goals without, becoming obsessed with them? Let me give you an example. One of my goals is to write a best-selling book. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, well, that's easy for you to say, Matt. The same is true for you. No matter what your goals are, there are other people out there who would be happy to help you achieve them. You've probably heard the phrase that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And the best part about all of this is that you'd have to do anything right now. If you can master this, then you'll be able to achieve anything you set your mind to without breaking a sweat. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe.